Welcome back to the Ross Bolin podcast presented by Bolin Media. I'm Ross Bolin here with producer Kade Orris. Kade, say hello to the people.
Hello, people.
I've got a fun little homeowner story that I've been looking forward to telling on this show for actually a couple weeks now.
You have a lot of those. I've been noticing.
This is fresh, though.
Yeah.
It's a fresh one to get us started off here today. So, it was actually a week before last. I put my 2-year-old son to bed. Takes forever right now, Kade.
Mm-hmm.
He's in this phase where it's like, some nights if I get lucky, 30 minutes, he'll be asleep. But more often, it's an hour, and sometimes it's an hour and a half in this dark, chilled child's bedroom, just fucking laying there, waiting for him to run. Like, he's running laps around his bed. He's kicking me in the head, jabbering to himself like a little monkey nonstop for a half hour, asking me question after question after question. It's insane. He'll be like, Dada? I'm like, yes, dude. He's like, where's Mama? And I'm like, Mama's probably sleeping at this point. Dada? Where's Sister? Dada? Where's Pop? Dada? Where's G-Mom? Dada? Where's Roma? Dada? Where's Nonk? He runs through our whole family, every person he's ever met.
Yeah.
And I want to answer like, how the fuck would I know, dude? I'm in here with you.
I'm stuck here.
I'm stuck here in this room with you. I don't know where all these people are. It's like he thinks I have constant tabs on everyone. But anyway, that's just part of his routine. It takes forever. And it's complicated because it's my favorite part of the day every day, putting him to sleep. But it can also be the most frustrating part of my day that tests me the most and takes the most patience. So I like to eat a little gummy before I go in there. So it hits like 15 to 30 minutes into the process, you know? Helps me be more patient and chill and really enjoy that time with my son. It also makes it highly entertaining, honestly. It's like,
yeah, I bet.
it's
yeah.
fucking hilarious. And then I come out once he's asleep and I've got a nice little day-ending buzz, right?
There you go, yeah.
This is grade A parenting. So a couple weeks ago, Wednesday night, toddler finally falls asleep and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling high. And I walk out into the playroom that's between his room and mine. Okay, I'm walking to my bedroom, ready to watch some premium television before bed, and I hear this dripping, like water hitting the ground. And I'm not talking like a sink drip, drip, drip. I'm talking like drip, 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 drip. And it's not raining outside, and it hadn't rained all day. So at first I was like, surely I'm just high and this is all in my head, and it's like something else, like the ceiling fan is blowing like a piece of paper that's making it sound like it's dripping or something. But I turn around, and unfortunately, there is actual dripping. It's a puddle is forming on the ground, on the wood floor, in the middle of the playroom, and I look up and I see water dripping at a highly concerning rate from the HVAC vent in the ceiling. So this is not good. This is not good.
Doesn't sound like it, no.
It's the second floor, okay? So I sigh like a giant dad sigh. I was just like, ugh. I run downstairs. I grab like several towels and a mop bucket. I run back upstairs, like dry up the existing puddle, put the bucket down to catch the drip with the towels underneath it just in case it overflows. I don't know how quickly it's going to get full or whatever. You know, I'm kind of freaking out at this point, right? And I notice this vent that the water is coming out of is the one closest to our HVAC unit that is in our attic. So I'm like, oh, fuck. This is probably the air conditioner, you know? I got to get up in the attic.
Right.
So I pull down the attic door, pull down the stairs, climb up there, and I go take a look and see what I can see. Now, everybody who knows me well enough knows I'm not exactly Mr. Mechanical. I'm not exactly Mr.
Not really, no.
You know, handyman.
No,
But I know what I know. You know, I know how to switch out the filter on the AC unit, stuff like that. Basics. I know where the drip pan is, for example. You know, there's this pan under your AC unit that's there to catch water if a drip or a leak of some kind is sprung. And I noticed the drip pan is only half full. So it's not that the drip pan is overflowing, but I can also see water dripping into the pan. And then after a little more detective work, I see like there's this pipe that leads to the drip pan that has condensation around it. And that's probably where the leak is coming from. So I'm like, shit, this is not a Ross thing. I can't fix this. I don't know what the next move is, right? So I get my wife to text the neighborhood mom text group that they have to get an HVAC guy recommendation. I'm like, hit the moms up, see if one of them has an HVAC guy they love that we can trust, and I'll see if I can get him out here. Get this number from my wife for this HVAC guy. His name is Chet.
Chet, nice.
Which you don't come across often.
No, I only know one Chet.
Chet. I think this was my first Chet in real life. He's apparently great, right? So I'm like, okay. I text Chet, and I'm like, look, dude, kind of an emergency situation, because the only way to stop this leak is for me to turn off the AC.
And you don't want to do that.
It's 90 degrees outside.
Right.
It's 8:30 p.m. It's still 90 degrees outside. If I turn the AC off, both kids are inevitably going to wake up sweating and come into my room, and then I'm going to have 4 people deep in my bed, and I'm going to be hot as shit all night, and it's just going to be a miserably long night. And it's the middle of the week. Right. I don't want to have this wreck the rest of the week. So I kind of explain it to him, and he just he doesn't respond. I don't know why I expect, again, it's evening. He's got a life, maybe other jobs he's on. But I'm like sitting there staring at my phone like, come on, Chet, come on. While I wait, I call my dad, and we're like diagnosing this shit over the phone. Anytime I have like an issue I don't know how to handle, I usually a household issue, I usually call my dad because he knows more of this shit than me.
Right, yeah.
Unfortunately, I think his dad knew more of this shit than him. And every generation we lose a little bit more knowledge about how to handle this type of thing. But my dad and I basically figured out what we thought the problem was, and that is what it ended up being, but I'll get to that. The point is I couldn't fix it myself. Chet finally texts me back, but all he does is ask me for my address. And I think he just needs my address so he can see how far away this is and whether or not he's going to be able to make it tonight, right? So I respond with my address. He doesn't say anything back. So I'm in bed, and I'm like sitting there, I'm talking to my wife. I'm like, what do we do? Do we turn the AC off? We crank it up real high to like 85 so that it's not having to work as hard. Maybe that'll create less of a leak. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know what to do. And suddenly I get a notification on my phone that somebody's ringing my doorbell. I have it muted so it's not like actually ringing.
Yeah.
But somebody's at my front door. I'm like, holy shit, it must be Chet. But what a psycho. He didn't even text me back. He just fucking showed up. And it is him. It's Chet. And I explained to Chet. I take him upstairs, and I'm like, look, here's the drip. You can see the bucket. Here's the towels. Here's the problem. There's the attic entrance. And I tell him, look, both my kids are asleep. And the entrance to our attic is literally right between their bedroom doors, which are also right next to each other. So it's like door, right above that, attic entrance. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, we got to be quiet. Like, I need you to handle this. And if they wake up, that's honestly not that big of a deal compared to you taking care of the problem. But like, if we can, let's try to be quiet. So we're kind of like whispering to each other. I'm like, so the kids' bedrooms are right there. And like, I'm going to need you to do this sort of quietly, you know? And so he goes up in the attic, he comes back down, and he tells me what's wrong. The drainage pipe clogged, and it cracked as a result because the pressure built up, and it needs to be replaced, but then he's going to need to blow out some other pipe or some shit. I don't know. I was like half paying attention. I'm like, yeah.
You're also high, so
just fucking get it fixed, dude. And we're whispering to each other, and I'm feeling good off these Chill Country edibles. I feel like I'm on like a secret mission. And it was honestly super fun, even though I knew it was about to cost me hundreds of dollars, and that's the magic of cannabis. But so Chet tells me, look, I'm going to get up there and fix this, but it's going to be a little bit loud. So I want you to shut the attic door behind me so that it doesn't make so much noise, and maybe it won't wake up your kids that way. And I'm like, Chet, that is a fantastic idea. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, what if I was like a psychopath and I just left you up there to die?
Could have, yeah.
It's insanely hot up there, dude. So hot up there. Like anybody who's ever been in an attic, midday, high heat, you know, it's a very uncomfortable place to be. You don't want to hang out up there, right? And I'm like, you don't know me, Chet. Yes, so trusting this Chet. And being trapped in an attic seems like it would be one of the worst things ever. You know, shouts to Clark W. Griswold. So he tells me, I'm going to go up there, you shut it behind me, and then I'm going to knock 3 times when I want you to come let me out. And I'm like, all right.
I got it.
Again, feels fun. I'm like, yeah, sweet. Fun little mission here to end the day. So now he's up there doing shit. I shut it behind him. He's working. Several minutes pass. Like every once in a while I hear like some banging. I hear vacuuming. You know, he's fixing the shit. And I'm getting kind of bored. So I'm scrolling social media, and I'm a little high. So I'm tweeting about this. I'm like live tweeting the event.
This is how I found out about it initially.
'Cause I was
You're
tweeting.
just tweeting about it, yeah.
And I'm sitting there tweeting and laughing, and you know, I'm comfortable, and it's the end of the day. I'm winding down, feels good. I hear like some drilling, and I'm like, okay, neither kid has woken up yet. This is huge. It's going well. Chet's the man. I'm
Do
so
you have
stoked.
like cameras and your like baby cams in the rooms?
Yeah.
Okay, so you would know if they like
Yeah,
woke
so
up.
and it's baby cams, and they also have sound on them. The baby monitors do.
Okay,
So like,
yeah.
I can see both kids when they're sleeping, and if they get up, you know. And also, it's just our bedroom is right there. It's not that far.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I get caught up in the social media, and I'm stoned, and I'm sitting there, and suddenly I hear something strange, and I'm like, oh fuck, how much time has passed? And I walk. I'm probably. I don't know how else to explain it other than to say, like, I couldn't see the attic door. I'm sitting around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not just staring up at the attic door waiting for him to knock.
Right.
But I'm like 10 feet away. And I figured I would very easily be able to hear it. Unfortunately, the edibles took hold. And so I'm like, oh shit, how long has it been? And what the fuck is that noise? And I walk over and I look up and Chet didn't knock hard enough, apparently. Or I thought it was like him working. Like I probably heard the knocks, but I thought
like
it was
he's just
him
doing something else,
doing
yeah.
his shit. So he has had to use his legs to force the door open and is now awkwardly trying to unfold the ladder alone and exit the attic. And he's just sweating bullets. And he just looks down at me like, you stupid fuck, you had one job.
How long do you think he was up there
And
for?
I'm like, oh, bro, my bad, dude. Maybe 5-10 extra
Like,
minutes.
okay, yeah.
Not that long. But I'm sure he started to panic when he knocked and no one answered and the door never opened. So he was like, fuck it, I have to do it alone. I didn't even realize you could even apply that much force from above
yeah.
to open an attic.
So you can open the attic from the...
From the inside?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
Yeah. Like he saved himself because I didn't hear him.
But it's much easier to just open it
Oh
from-
my God.
Yeah. Okay.
He looked like he was struggling, having a very, very fucking hard time. And I literally walked over and caught him in the process of like trying to figure out how to unfold the ladders so he could walk down.
Mm-hmm.
And it was hysterical for me. Well, I don't think it was very funny for
I
Chet.
think he was having a good time now.
But yeah, poor bastard. And Chet was super cool about it. He didn't like get really angry at me or anything. Like I definitely would have. Like this is an emergency call. It's pitch black outside. At this point, it's 9 p.m. Guy probably wants to be home, eating a gummy and going to sleep. And instead, this moron has forgotten him in the attic. But anyway, he fixed the shit. Shout out to Chet. And it was huge because I didn't have to turn the AC off that night. And it was just another one of those moments where I was like, if you make me list the top 5 inventions ever, air conditioning is on that list.
Oh yeah, has to be.
We couldn't live down here.
No, it'd be way too hot.
Too hot most of the year to survive. Like we'd all have to be huddled up in the fucking Midwest or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But even there, it gets hot as shit
Yeah, it gets hot
sometimes in
in
the
the-
summer. Like Chicago in the summer.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to Chicago this weekend. It's gonna be a cool 60.
Oh man,
With lows of 40s.
what are you doing up there?
Just seeing some friends.
Dude, Chicago's the best.
Yeah, very excited to be.
I'm assuming
there.
you've been to Chicago.
Yeah, actually, the last time I was there was like the week before I moved here.
Oh,
So
really?
It's been like almost 4 years since I've been there.
Have you spent much time in Chi-Town, though?
Not a whole lot. Like I haven't explored like everything.
You
I
haven't
mean,
been
there's
to,
a
like-
lot.
Have you been to Wrigley?
Yeah, I've been to Wrigley before. Been to the White Sox Stadium before, and just like downtown, by like that river that they have.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I've been to a couple.
The river
bars.
that Dave Matthews Band dropped all their poop in?
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been to a few different spots in Chicago, but I haven't explored like all of it.
My favorite city in the United States to visit.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Got any recs on what to do when I'm there?
Not really.
Yeah. Apparently they have a Chinatown.
Dude, the museums rule,
Yeah?
too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Take a little edible and go to
Absolutely.
the museum. But yeah,
Hell yeah.
apparently we're going to their Chinatown on Saturday. I didn't know they had a Chinatown.
Oh, I think all the big cities have a Chinatown.
Oh, really?
Like the big five.
Like New York,
LA, Chicago. I don't think it's called Chinatown in Houston.
but they have something.
But we have a Chinatown.
Okay. I thought it was just like New York or something.
Austin's not big enough.
No,
Nor is it diverse enough,
it's really not.
unfortunately. But, so you're going to go to Chinatown?
I guess, at least for a little bit. Yeah, we have like a rough itinerary right now on everything that we're doing. But looking forward to it, just go and see some friends that I haven't seen in a while. But yeah.
We went out by the lake. I remember the lake. We stayed in like an Airbnb
Yeah.
before I even knew what that was. This was late 2010 was the last time I went, I think. No, wait. I've been back since then for a bachelor party.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, one time I went with my mom and my dad and my brother, and we stayed in an Airbnb that was like a loft, like 40 stories up in one of these skyscrapers downtown, and it was sick.
Yeah.
Although it was a little disorienting as someone who doesn't love heights.
Right.
I remember watching a lot of Californication, the TV show, while I was at nighttime there. I was really into that show at that point. I don't know why that matters. It doesn't matter, but yeah.
No, I think I'm gonna try to see if I can go to where they filmed The Bear. See if I can
that'd
go
be
there.
cool.
And also the Chicago Rat Hole. Pay my respects.
Oh, dude, of course.
I wonder if it's still there.
No, they moved it somewhere.
Oh, they did? What, they took out the concrete? They cut out the concrete from it and placed it somewhere else?
Yeah, you don't remember they put it somewhere?
I don't remember. I remember us talking about it when it first went viral, but
Let me see if I can quickly find it. What they did with it, but looks like on April 24th of 2024, the Chicago Department of Transportation removed the sidewalk slab containing the hole while keeping it intact. And as of January of this year, 2025, it is stored in the City Hall.
put it in City Hall.
Yeah.
And they don't even know if it's
Genuine?
yeah.
They think some people think it's a squirrel,
Yeah.
not a rat.
Or yeah, some
I don't know
other
though,
rodent.
man. I'm
Is
a
it pretty
believer.
rat shaped?
I'm a believer. Yeah,
Okay.
it's rat shaped.
So maybe we have to go to City Hall then while I'm there and
Yeah.
pay my respects there.
Pay your respects to the slab. It also says a Rat Hole Music Fest was held at a venue under 3 miles south of the site in June, featuring local bands as well as a burlesque and poetry performance. That's great.
Good
That's
stuff.
great. Well, anyway,
Got that to look forward to.
Chicago. Love that.
Chirac, home of the Pope.
Poop. So because it is Mental Health Awareness Month, Cade,
Yeah.
May, we're nearing the end of it here. For one segment today, I wanted to lay out some of the things that will, without a doubt, wreck your mental health. These are things to avoid doing, probably in general, but things to correct if you are doing and you're experiencing negative side effects as a result of them, or things to check on. Like if here's what I like to do. Here's what I kind of do. If I start to feel depressed, or if I noticed, over a couple of days, like, man, I'm getting anxious. I've been more anxious than usual. I go through like a checklist. Am I doing any of these things that I know cause anxiety or depression or generally mental health issues? And for me, the biggest one is drinking too much too often, which I obviously no longer do because I quit. But that was always an easy one for me. Again, I don't think there's anything wrong with going out on occasion, maybe even once or twice a week, having a good time with your friends, having some drinks, getting a little messed up, getting a little buzzed, getting a little drunk, or whatever. But if you're doing it enough to where it's impacting your mental health negatively, then that's something you have to come to terms with and correct. But it doesn't even have to be just alcohol. Getting fucked up too often in general, it doesn't give you or your brain or your mentals enough time to recalibrate, and eventually your mental health will start to slip. So that's a big one that I think a lot of people struggle with and don't even realize it or don't want to admit it. Another one would be being on your phone and specifically social media for too many hours a day. Screen time, they call it, Cade.
Right.
And this is a bad one for me still. It's usually the first thing I notice if I'm like, oh, God, I don't feel good today. I'm like, well, I was on my phone for 9 straight hours
and
yesterday.
I'm just getting the worst possible news.
Constantly.
Thrown in my face.
On Instagram, on Twitter.
Yeah. This is a big one for me. And, like, I don't have crazy screen time. I don't know how much yours is, but, like.
It's crazy.
It's, like, 6 to 7 hours usually, but, like, a lot of that is social media. And it doesn't help with the...
No. It's devastating.
Side, yeah.
It's devastating to the vibes.
Mm-hmm.
It truly is. And if you're on your phone for like 8 hours a day and you're not on social media, what the hell are you doing on there? You know? I feel like everybody who has trouble with screen time has trouble with screen time because of social media specifically.
Yeah, well, you just sending off a bunch of emails all day or like what? I guess
probably.
People, like,
but I still feel like those people get sucked in. Like you might do an email or two, check a few, and then I'll just bounce over to Instagram real quick and see what's going on. And before you know it, you hate your life. You know?
Right.
So you got to be really careful with your phone. You got to be really careful with social media. Just as a general concept, human beings were meant to experience the world around us. This is a very new phenomenon where we're all like living in with our faces stuffed into screens all day, every day. I am probably in the top 1% of people screen time wise over the past 15 years. And it's not good. It's not good. So I have to be real careful about that, and specifically with social media, because it is just such a massive bummer pretty much everywhere in one way or another. You know?
It really is.
It's the simplest version that I think most people deal with is like seeing all their friends doing vacations or getting married or having babies or falling in love or posting on Instagram the highs of their life.
Yeah.
So you get on there, stuck at home, feeling like shit, haven't done anything fun in a while.
Yeah, not going on
not
any vacation.
dating.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah. And you see all this and you're like, what the fuck is wrong with me? You compare yourself, right? Mm-hmm. And that's easy to do because nobody's getting on Instagram and being like, today fucking sucked. My day sucked. Here's the shitty lunch I had. Here's a selfie of me in my sweats that I haven't taken off. Nobody does that. I mean, some people do, but very, very, very few.
Yeah.
Most people are not real on social media. So, like, it's a devastating blow to your morale that is totally avoidable. That's what's so bad about it. It's totally avoidable, but it's also addictive as hell. And a lot of us struggle with that. So you got to be careful with social media. In the same vein, pornography. If you are watching too much pornography, it falls into the same bucket as like social. And as I, make this list for you, again, I would note, I don't think any of these things in moderation are just altogether bad, no matter what. Like, I'm not saying you should never drink, you should never watch porn, you should never be on Instagram. But if you're struggling with your mental health, these are the easy, clear-cut areas to check and make sure you're not doing too much of this shit, or this shit will devastate your mentals. So, and these three things, like drinking, getting fucked up, watching porn, being on your phone too much, social media, they all fall under really the same category, which is like dopamine addiction.
Right. And
if you're just getting hits of dopamine nonstop from porn, social media, socializing, drinking, whatever, those highs lead to crashes. And eventually you're out. There's no more dopamine.
Yeah. And those highs aren't like that high to begin with.
No.
So like the crash is even further. So
it sucks.
Yeah.
And that's the way it works though. And this is something that I didn't really understand for a lot of years of struggling with my mental health. I didn't really grasp this concept that like dopamine is sacred. And there are times you're supposed to experience it. And then there are times you're not. You're not supposed to get a dopamine hit looking at your fucking phone. That's not what our brains were built for. So yeah, if your dopamine crashes, if you've got dopamine issues as a result of too much screen time, too much porn, too much drinking, too much whatever, you're going to struggle. And so you have to take note of that, correct course, and give yourself a break, at the very least, and then hope that you can be better in the future. But I have noticed for a lot of people in my generation and the ones younger than me, this is where we struggle. This is where a lot of these mental health issues are being born. And you're seeing all these boomers like, oh, why do all the Zoomers have all these mental health issues? Like, we didn't have all those mental health issues. Like, yeah, you didn't grow up with a fucking iPad strapped to your head. You know?
Yeah.
Our circumstances are completely different than yours were. Y'all had a different type of shit to be sad about. We have literal technology draining the good chemicals from our brains and replacing them with sludge. So
Right.
that's a big part of this battle. Too much solitude can also be. This is another one. When if I start feeling depressed, it's usually lately because I've been alone too much.
Yeah.
I haven't connected with enough human beings in the real world. You know, haven't socialized, haven't even, like, sometimes, you know, my wife and I both being self-employed, having 2 small kids, like, we don't get to spend as much time together as either of us would like. And that contributes as well. But, like, if I don't make sure that I'm getting time with people, and I mean outside of work, and you know, ideally outside of, like, the bar, too. I mean, like, going and playing golf, or fucking pickleball, or chess,
Or run clubs or
run club, something healthy though. But
Yeah.
even like a less healthy but still okay version of this, like gaming with the boys.
Yeah.
That's some level of connection. It's not as good as some of the other examples we just gave, but it's still something. Because solitude is also not how we were meant to live. Like, none of it. We roamed the earth in fucking packs like wolves. You know what I mean?
Right,
That's what
yeah.
we were doing. And then one day we decided to completely separate ourselves from everybody. And then it got worse with COVID. That's when a lot of this isolation shit happened, where people never bounced back. Social lives never fully recovered. And too much solitude can be extremely depressing. It's bad. And this is one that really impacts me as well. I need people connection. That's what I feed off of. That's where I get energy. That's where I get happiness. Connecting with other people, relating to other people, conversing with other people. So when those things aren't there, it contributes to me feeling shitty. Not being physically active enough is a big one. For a lot of people that never work out, never run, never go golf, never go hike, never go rock climb. What are some other physical activities you can do?
Yoga.
Yoga is a fantastic one.
Great one.
Top 3.
Yeah.
You know? If you don't get out and get going and move your body and use your body, like, the connection between body and mind is very powerful, a lot more so than I think most people are willing to admit, myself historically included. You know, eating like shit is another obvious one that a lot of people make the mistake of not really caring. But if you don't feel good, try to eat clean for a few days. See if it helps. It will. Spoiler alert. And then you'll probably be a little better off longer term, knowing that, hey, okay, I need to focus on this more. My diet really does matter. And I need to pay attention to it. And I still don't do a good enough job with this one, admittedly.
I try sometimes, but there's times where I just...
Yeah, it comes and goes for me too. There's, you know, a week or 2 in a row where I'm like, I'm killing it. I'm eating good. I can see it in the mirror too. I'm like, I look healthier. I'm glowing. And then I fall off. I start eating like shit. Maybe I have a bad day. I'm like, you know what? I'm just
I don't
going
want
to
to cook. Yeah.
I'm going to order fucking pizza and get a 2 liter of Coke.
There you go.
And just crush that. And like, if you eat shitty and you don't move your body, you're going to feel shitty. That's what's going to happen. So those are the easiest things, like the most glaringly obvious ones that I think the most people struggle with. One last one I'll throw in there that I've had issues with in the past, like watching too much heavy shit. Like if you're watching only really heavy, really depressing, really dark movies and TV shows,
It's going to take a toll.
you're going to get sad inside.
Yeah.
Ross.
That's why you need those comfort shows or those chasers,
man.
Yeah.
Gotta get a chaser.
Yeah. Just something super lighthearted.
And
Fun.
never, ever binge watch Black Mirror. Just don't do it. You just don't need to do it. You can watch 1 a day. That's the limit. Black Mirror is a 1 a day show. And even then, you're risking it. You still need happy vibes inserted.
Yeah, don't end the night with
Hell no.
Black Mirror, and then you just go straight to bed.
Or The Last of Us.
Or The Last of Us. Or Andor, or whatever else
Andor.
we've been watching recently.
Every show we've covered recently on Oysters, Clams, and Cockles is devastating to morale.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got to be careful with that too. Anyway, those are all just like surefire ways to wreck your mental health. And I mostly share them, obvious as they may be for some of us, so that if you're going through it, if you notice you feel bad, if you're getting sad, if you're getting anxious, that you can check these things. Like, well, fuck, I did watch 8 hours of porn yesterday.
Binging porn.
You know, I did crank 5 times yesterday. I haven't left my room in 82 hours. You know, I've eaten nothing but leftover Papa John's since Monday. You know, I've tweeted 486 times in 2 days. Like, yeah, fucking yeah. There you go. Fix those things and you'll be good. That's the good news. Is most of this shit is super fixable.
Right.
It's just a matter of training yourself, which for some of us, me, takes many
right there.
many years. Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, many years of learning hard lessons before you do the right thing. So, yeah, summertime is around the corner, Kade. Pool season is here. Hopefully I get to go to the beach this summer. I'm not sure if that's going to be in the cards, though. Love me some summer. Winter sucks. Bring me the heat. Of course, prepping for a big summer means planning to stay hydrated so you can get the most out of your body and live more during those warm summer months. Visit liquidiv.com and maximize your summer plans with sugar-free hydration featuring the new Raspberry Lemonade Hydration Multiplier. Kade's chugging some Liquid IV as we speak. Get 20% off your first order with code ROSS at checkout. Remembering to drink enough water every day is a constant struggle for most of us, and as a result, a lot of us are walking around dehydrated without even realizing it, which affects everything, your energy levels, your mental health, everything. I just spoke to how your diet really matters. Well, guess what? So does hydration in terms of your mental health. Fortunately, today's episode is brought to you by Liquid IV, powered by Live Hydra Science. Liquid IV helps you break the mold with flavors like their new Hydration Multiplier Sugar-Free Raspberry Lemonade, a bright, zero-sugar flavor combining notes of ripe, freshly picked raspberries and citrusy, zesty lemon. Liquid IV has you covered all summer long. You just dump one of their little Liquid IV packets into your water so that it tastes 3 times better with 3 times the electrolytes of leading sports drinks and is significantly more hydrating than water alone. Break the mold and own your ritual and try Liquid IV this summer. Just 1 stick of Liquid IV and 16 ounces of water hydrates better than water alone. An optimized ratio of electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients that turn ordinary water into extraordinary hydration, 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, 8 essential vitamins and nutrients, always non-GMO, vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, and soy-free. Get ready for summer with extraordinary hydration from Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use code ROSS at checkout. That's 20% off your first order with code ROSS, R-O-S-S, at liquidiv.com. Now, to continue our Mental Health Awareness Month advice, discussion, whatever, another thing that occurred to me a few days ago that I made note of that I wanted to discuss. Bella, what are you doing? Dog's rolling around on my foot. If you've got anxiety, this is particularly helpful. And I've struggled with anxiety for, 16 years, really, off and on. More recently, off and on. Try to slow down. Try to slow down. This is one of the things I've been working on in 2025. Just slow down. Stop doing so much. Like, we have a tendency, especially here in the old US of A, in America, as Americans, to just jam-pack our schedules and engage in this nonstop rat race. And it's completely unhealthy, so sometimes our brains build up anxiety. Slow down. Stop doing so much. And this is a thing that comes and goes in your life. So like, college can be a pretty jam-packed time period for some. Others, not so much. You just go to class and then sit in your dorm room. But for a lot of us, it's pretty nonstop. I feel like when you get out of school and you're in the real world and you get your first job, things slow down again. You know, you've got your social life on the weekends, but like during the week, it's mostly like go to work, go to the gym, go to sleep, go to work, go to the gym, go to sleep, go to work, go to the gym, go to sleep, or some variation of that, right? Like things are pretty simple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you get up into where I'm at, late or mid 30s, late 30s, for some of y'all, this starts in your late 20s, and I don't know how you do it. But when you got kids and your own jobs, you got a career at that point, hopefully in your late 30s, something sustainable. You're also trying to maintain a social life. It gets really difficult to do what I am saying, to slow down and not be constantly planning for the next trip or the next play date or the next, whatever it is you're doing with your kids or whatever it is you're doing with your spouse or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your friends or social life, or like everything just gets so jam-packed. Like if you want to do like a boys' night with your boys when you're my age, you have to plan that shit like 3 months out. because everybody is so busy all of the time. And to take it back to like, the Stone Age, bro, this is not how we functioned. Early humans, we weren't meant to be busy all of the time. There was a lot of downtime. Granted, it was probably spent like fighting off mountain lions or whatever, but like, they didn't have all this shit we have now where you're constantly inundated with activity and it's just nonstop madness. And I feel like, with as much as anxiety has become sort of a cultural issue for us at this point, this is one of the big symptoms to me, is that people don't slow down. And I'm not saying live slow all the time. I'm not saying you should sip lean. I'm saying that if you notice your anxiety is ratcheted up, if you notice that you've been experiencing anxiety more often or more intensely, that's a good time to be like, take a look at your schedule. See what you've been doing for the past 2 weeks. Has it been nonstop action? Maybe you need a little break. Maybe it's time to try to clear the schedule as much as you possibly can. I know it's not possible to clear the whole thing necessarily, but maybe you can plan a vacation or something. Do something differently to break up the fucking monotony of the nonstop grind that most of us experience through our late 20s up through, we die. Because I don't know if retirement's going to be a thing for our generation, kid.
It's looking less and less likely.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to pan out. So we'll work until we die. But the point is, in the meantime, shouldn't we enjoy ourselves a little bit? Yes. But that doesn't mean getting so fucking busy that you never have a chance to slow down and stop and reflect and adjust, I don't think, for me, like, I need like a few days usually to be able to figure out where I'm at. Like, to slow down enough just to even feel like, all right, how am I doing? Mentally, emotionally, physically. Like, I can't really do that on the fly. I can't really assess my situation on the fly. I'm somebody that needs to stop what is happening and then focus. That's the only way I can really read into shit. So this might not be as much of a problem for you right now, Kade. I feel like you have a good amount of like chill time.
I have some downtime. I feel like most of my nights are pretty chill. I'm not doing a whole lot. So.
And like weekends, you have, social life, but not like nonstop.
Like planned activities all.
Like wake up, shower, leave the house, and not come back till night,
Or like after midnight, yeah.
But it gets harder. It gets harder as you get older, and it's like there's just always something, So you have to be able to block off your schedule, and create downtime, create space, and slow the hell down. And I also feel like that you get into your 30s, and there's like this rush to try to experience as much of life as possible. Like, I'm going to die. I got to do as much as I can and make as much money as I can and do as much as I can and build everything as much as I can. It's like, yeah, maybe not though. Like, maybe just chill the fuck out. Take it easy. Don't be so hard on yourself. And again, I'm saying, if you start to notice you're getting anxious or you're getting down or you're getting worn out, burned out, tired, like this is the thing to do. Slow down. Because it's not necessary. A lot of this stuff is not required. A lot of the stuff that we do. Just something to keep note of. When you're starting a business or running a startup, it can be incredibly intimidating and lonely because you're wearing so many different hats. Suddenly you're the marketing department, but you're also in charge of merchandising, you're creating the content, and you're the HR department. It's ridiculous. I've experienced it. Finding the right tool that not only helps you out by taking things off your plate, but by simplifying everything, can be such a game changer. For millions of businesses, that tool is today's next sponsor, Shopify. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S., from household names like Mattel and Gymshark to brands just getting started like Chill Country Edibles. It's one of our sponsors today. Get started with your own design studio. With hundreds of ready-to-use templates, Shopify helps you build a beautiful online store to match your brand's style. Accelerate your content creation. Shopify is packed with helpful AI tools that write product descriptions, page headlines, and even enhance your product photography if need be. Get the word out like you have a marketing team behind you. Easily create email and social media campaigns wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. And best yet, Shopify is your commerce expert with world-class expertise in everything from managing inventory to international shipping to processing returns and beyond. If you are ready to sell, you are ready for Shopify. Turn your big business idea into a reality with Shopify on your side. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period and start selling today at shopify.com/RBP, all lowercase. Go to Shopify, Shopify, shopify.com/RBP. That's shopify.com/RBP to unlock that $1 per month trial. You know, another thing I noticed regarding startups, business, etc. Nobody ever makes a company or a product that's successful and then just stops.
Just makes that one product, or it has that one service.
And crushes it and then just stops.
Yeah.
Everything has to scale. This is something you hear about constantly in the entrepreneur world. Scaling everything. All right, we did it. Now how do we do it again and bigger and more times and everywhere? And it's fucking crazy to me. Like, Facebook is a perfect example. Starts with Facebook. They buy Instagram. They buy WhatsApp. Now they're cranking out Ray-Ban glasses and VR goggles and trying to create a metaverse where people can live in virtual reality and die alone. And I don't get it. Like, you had a thing. You did great with that thing. That thing was awesome. Facebook was awesome.
Yeah.
Now it fucking sucks.
It's the worst product.
It's god-awful. It is their worst product.
I mean, not to say that any of these other products are...
Some of them are fun. I enjoy Instagram. WhatsApp's great. Keeps people connected, you know? Oh, they didn't build either of those things we're talking about.
No, they didn't. They kind of just bought them.
So the thing they built now sucks.
Yeah.
And the shit they bought is now their flagship.
Right.
That doesn't seem right. I just don't get that. It's just an element of capitalism that I've become confused by.
Yeah, that's what happens when we live in a capitalist society. We got to keep expanding.
Yeah, but you don't have to. That's the part of it that's a cop-out. You don't have to.
No.
Look at us. We're downsizing. I stopped doing a show. I started to do this. Like, okay, I've got a successful podcast. Now what about another successful podcast? Now what about another successful? It's too much. So I stopped doing one of our shows, Banging the Can. I haven't done it one time in 2025 because it's just too much, man. It was too fucking demanding and it wasn't really making money yet. And I don't have time, man.
Yeah.
I'm trying to slow down. So like, it makes me laugh how I regularly see these companies, like a company will come out with a great product and I'm like, they killed that. That's amazing. Good for them. And then the next thing I know, I see them like pivoting into a space that isn't even connected to the original product. And I'm like, wait, what? Why? No, don't do that. God damn it. A lot of it has to do with publicly traded companies that have stockholders that demand an increase in share price.
Yeah.
So I get that. I get how it works. I'm just saying it seems to be a big problem.
Yeah. I mean, you worked for a company that did this.
That was the downfall of Grand X, man.
Yeah. Too many
spinning plates.
Yeah.
All at once. It's chaos. It seems to happen everywhere now. Tesla's another great example. Elon in general is a great example. Like, focus, guy.
Just on one thing. Be great at
spaceships, electric cars, but then the electric car company also randomly makes other shit like flamethrowers. Like, what the fuck?
And robots.
Robots.
Yeah, robots. And they're doing the
boring tunnels, boring company, whatever that is.
I think they're doing the self-driving taxis here in Austin soon.
Tesla is?
Yeah.
We've got the other ones.
You got the Waymos, yeah.
Yeah, those are sick.
I like those.
I saw one on the highway the other day, though, and I was confused.
Oh, really?
Because they're supposed to only be downtown.
Yeah.
My wife and I were coming back from date night, and we were literally just talking about the Waymos because we saw one on the street downtown. We were like, it's pretty wild. But we got up on Mopac, and I saw one exiting Mopac, and I was like, whoa, I don't know if that was supposed to be up here.
Maybe you just got like lost, or it's like, I don't know where I'm at right now, or
that's not a good sign though.
Or maybe they're just like trying to expand like how far their reach is.
It might have been one that's testing the waters or something like that. Yeah, it still freaked me out. I was just like, okay, driverless vehicle. Because with the Tesla and the full self-driving thing, like at least there's a person in the car right now. With the Waymos, it's Waymo. There's nothing in there.
No.
It's just doing its thing. Anyway, just a random take I wanted to share. Like, yeah, I get it. More, all the time, more. But like,
need more money.
Come on, God damn it! Can't we just chill out, man? Chill out, bro.
Just take a chill pill or chill country.
Cade's a big Colts fan.
Go Horse, yeah.
They lost their owner yesterday.
They did.
Jimmy
RIP.
Irsay.
Yeah.
You can say a lot of things about Jimmy Irsay.
Yeah.
One of them has to be legend.
Yeah.
Legendary sports owner.
Mm-hmm. Big football guy.
Kind of a mess.
A little bit.
Sloppy. Messy.
Did a lot for the community, though, too. So that's,
Beloved.
Yeah.
By players, former and current.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess there are no current now. He's dead. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
As far as owner reputation goes in professional sports, seemed like people really enjoyed working for this guy.
For sure.
Kind of a nut. He would fire off crazy tweets. Really crazy tweets on occasion. It bummed me out because he clearly got so much heat for like some of his tweets, 5, 10, 15 years ago,
Yeah.
that he kind of stopped doing it as frequently, like getting drunk and firing off tweets.
Mm-hmm.
But man, when he would do it,
He had some bangers.
great takes. Here's one. I know it's a sin, but I have a crush on Sarah Palin's feet. Owner of the Colts.
That's
Right there.
That was my owner.
What was his net worth?
I have no idea.
$4.8 billion at the time of his death. Do you know where he got his money from?
No idea. Honestly, never looked too much into him. I just knew he was
Nobody ever does with sports owners. We just go, yep, that guy owns my team.
Sure, yeah.
The only one I've ever known is Rockets owner Tillman Fertitta, because I knew he owned like Landry's, and then I knew he owned like some casinos, like the Golden Nugget in Louisiana or whatever.
But yeah, I'm like he's been our owner since I've been alive.
You're not gonna believe this. Jimmy Irsay's primary source of wealth initially stemmed from his inheritance of his father's heating and air conditioning business. HVAC guy.
HVAC guy. Hell yeah.
Maybe Chet worked for him.
Maybe.
Damn. Good for him, though. And then it looks like probably the bulk majority of his net worth was actually tied to owning the Colts because it ballooned.
Yeah. Wait, so, yeah, when was he...
He bought the fucking
when
Baltimore
did he buy
Colts in 1972 for $12 million. Moved them to Indy in 1984. Man.
Yeah, so he's been
what a come up.
my owner the whole time I've been alive. So I'd never really even thought much of how he got his wealth.
So I think his dad, Bob Irsay, bought the Baltimore Colts.
Okay.
And so he inherited that too.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And I think now his wife is going to be the owner. I don't know what she's going to do with the team. If she's going to take over, if she's going to...
Yeah, it gets weird.
Yeah.
The succession thing, because with the Texans, we just had a weird version of this. Bob McNair died. His son, who now I want to call Chet, but that's definitely not his name. Cal.
Yeah.
Is another douchey name, though. Cal McNair now owns the team technically, but there was some legal battle with his mom. I don't know. It got weird. It got complicated. But yeah, here's another Jimmy Irsay tweet. Standing in the front, shaking your ass. ... Take you backstage. Take a drink of my glass.
Damn. He was a poet, too.
Yep. Beautiful
Man of
stuff.
many talents.
And one more. He tweeted, I hired the Gimp from Pulp Fiction to clean my reading glasses. He lives in a trap door in my owner's suite, but also does my grocery shopping.
I don't...
You never watched Pulp Fiction?
Well, I've watched Pulp Fiction.
You remember the Gimp at the end?
Why are you saying Pulp Fiction 2?
He's put the number 2 instead of typing TOO.
Wait.
Oh, I'm sorry, just TO, not TOO.
Hired again from Pulp Fiction. Oh, okay.
To clean my reading glasses.
I thought he was saying
Pulp Fiction 2.
From Pulp Fiction.
Which
I'm like,
does not exist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now that makes more sense.
Yeah,
okay.
he means the Gimp that those weird racist shop owners had.
Okay, yeah.
That I believe actually was murdered.
I think
in that scene.
He got...
R.I.P. to the Gimp.
I think he got stabbed with a ninja sword.
I believe that's what happened, yeah. He's very dead. Yeah. And then the only Gimp I'm aware of outside of that is Jared, who's currently living in the Bowen Media Attic with his Gimp suit on. Yeah, so it's hot as shit up there.
He's cleaning our house and doing our grocery shopping.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Shout out to J-Bo and the Gimp.
Yeah.
Anyway, the NFL lost a real one, and that's a shame. So I wanted to make sure we commented on that on our way out as well. Random show today.
Very
random show. But we're going to go ahead and head out. Thanks for being here. We appreciate you very much. Thanks for listening. Follow Kade at Kade Orris, Kade with a K on Instagram and Twitter. I'm at WR Bolin. Support our sponsors, Shopify.com/RBP, LiquidIV.com, code Ross when you check out. Formula Bone for the F1 fans out there is going strong. If you're an F1 fan, go watch or listen to Jared's F1 show, Formula Bone. You can watch on youtube.com/@FormulaBone, follow @FormulaBone on social media, and listen on the podcast platforms if that is your preference. Check out Oysters, Clams, and Cockles. We are wrapping up coverage of The Last of Us Season 2 with the season finale airing this upcoming Sunday. And our companion podcast for that finale will drop on Memorial Day. Is that the weekend that we got coming up? Memorial Day?
Yep.
Always flip them, Labor Day and Memorial Day. Memorial Day, though. Check out Oysters, Clams, and Cockles for your TV and film needs. That's it. Until next time, remember, you are not alone. Peace be with you.
And also with you.